You can move to Canada, earn $80,000 in your first year, and still generate exactly $0 of RRSP contribution room for that year. That sounds like a glitch, but it's exactly how the system is designed to work. Stick with me and I'll show you the mechanism, because most people don't find out until they've already lost a year. I read the fine print so you don't have to. Here's the simple version. Your RRSP room is 18% of your earned income from the previous year, capped at an annual limit. $32,490 for 2025, per CIBC and Morningstar. The catch is that little word previous, and for a newcomer, it changes everything. The first thing to understand is that RRSP room always looks backward. This CRA takes your Canadian earned income from last year and gives you 18% of it as room for this year. Think of it like a store credit you can only earn by shopping the previous month. Today's spending doesn't count until next time around. Now here's why newcomers get hit. Only Canadian earned income counts toward RRSP room. The salary you earned abroad before becoming a Canadian tax filer creates nothing. Think of it like a loyalty program that only counts purchases in its own stores. Everything you bought overseas never registered on the card. So put it together. Someone lands in January and earns $80,000 of Canadian income that year. Their RRSP room for that year is still zero, because they had no Canadian income the year before. Think of it like arriving at a party where the drink tickets were handed out at the door yesterday. You showed up, but there was nothing to hand you. The room does eventually come. Once that newcomer files a return and gets their Notice of Assessment the following year, they finally see room. 18% of $80,000, which is $14,400 per CIBC's formula. Think of it like a first paycheck with a built-in delay. You did the work, but the reward only lands a year later. Compare that with someone who is already here. With the same $80,000 income, an established resident would have about $14,400 of room available right now, cutting their tax bill this year, per Sun Life. Think of it like two runners on the same track, except one starts a full lap behind through no fault of their own. The good news is that after year one, the system fixes itself. CRA automatically recalculates your room every year as 18% of last year's income. Earn $100,000 and you'll get $18,000 of room, per CIBC. Think of it like a faucet that turns on a year late, but once it's flowing, it refills on its own. Now the catch the brochures skip. Yes, unused RRSP room carries forward forever. So you never lose room you earned. But you can never retroactively create room for a year where you had none. That missing first year is gone for good. Think of it like vacation days that roll over. Except a year you never worked earns you no days to carry. Before I get to what this means for you, which is the most actionable part, here's the quiet cost. Save that money in a taxable account instead, and its growth is taxed every year. On one $14,000 block, a single year's delay costs roughly $3,000 over 30 years at 5% in illustrative terms. Think of it like planting a tree a season late. Same seed, less shade forever. So what do you actually do? Never guess. Log into CRA My Account and read your official RRSP deduction limit before you contribute a cent, per CRA guidance. In your second year, it should equal 18% of last year's Canadian income. If this is useful, subscribe. The next breakdown is already coming. One last practical guardrail. Once your room appears, total up every contribution across your bank, robo-advisor and group plans. Going more than $2,000 over your limit triggers a 1% per month penalty from CRA, per Sun Life. Map your first 3 years so you use your room steadily without ever crossing that line. The prior year rule costs newcomers a full year most never notice until it's too late. Next, I'm breaking down the TFSA trap for newcomers, where the room rules work completely differently and catch people out in the opposite direction. Subscribe so you don't miss it.